Chosen one, what if I told you that the lies spoken about you are backfired? That the very people who try to bring you down are now under investigation? It's no coincidence that the truth is coming out now. For too long, they thought they could tarnish your reputation, framing you with their false accusations. But karma is swift and it always finds its target. Now, as the dust begins to settle, justice is taking its course, and their lies are unraveling. You've been carrying the weight of their deception, feeling alone and misunderstood, but that's about to change. In this video, we're going to uncover why they spread those false accusations in the first place, how their plan is falling apart, and what this means for you moving forward. So stay with me until the end, because once you understand what's happening, you'll see that you never needed revenge. The universe is handling it all. Take a moment to reflect on what you've endured. These lies were meant to break you, to isolate you, and to make you question your own strength. But look where you are now. You're still standing, and now the truth is coming to light. If you've ever felt that weight, if you've ever wondered if the world would see the real you, comment 77 below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Hit the super thanks button if this message resonates with you, and together, let's shine a light on the truth. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning. Why people spread false accusations about chosen ones. Sometimes, it feels like no matter what you do, they will find a reason to turn against you. The accusations come seemingly out of nowhere, striking at your character, your motives, and your very identity. It's exhausting, isn't it? Constantly feeling as if you have to defend yourself from attacks that have no basis in reality. It can leave you questioning everything, your actions, your words, even your own worth. But here's the truth that they don't want you to see. It's not about what you did. It's about who you are. Your light, your strength, and your authenticity unsettle them. Instead of confronting their own struggles, they choose to project their fears and inadequacies onto you. This is why they accuse you, not because of any wrongdoing, but because they're afraid of what you represent. There's a weight that comes with being different, with standing out in a way that makes others uncomfortable. Maybe you felt it when friends turned their backs on you, or when colleagues spread rumors behind your back. It's not always overt, but it's there. The quiet jealousy, the subtle undermining, the veiled comments meant to make you doubt yourself. You probably asked yourself, what did I do to deserve this? The answer is often nothing at all. People attack what they don't understand. They see your clarity, your connection to something greater, and it reminds them the parts of themselves they've neglected. Rather than face those parts, they choose to strike at you. Their accusations are a reflection of their own insecurities, not a measure of your character. This pattern is as old as time. In John 8, verse 44, we're reminded that the father of lies operates through deception, confusion, and destruction. When people accuse you falsely, they're often driven by the same forces that seek to spread chaos. These aren't just harmless words. False accusations can shake your confidence, make you second-guess your purpose, and isolate you from those who might otherwise support you. But here's the thing, lies are never as strong as the truth. While their accusations may sting, they cannot erase who you truly are. Your authenticity is a light that cuts through their falsehoods. And the more they try to distort the truth, the more that truth becomes evident to those who are paying attention. In their attempt to diminish you, they set the stage for their own exposure. Over time, you begin to notice something remarkable. The more they accuse you, the more their own motives come to light. Perhaps it's a slip in their story, an inconsistency that becomes too obvious to ignore. Maybe someone who once believed them starts to see through the cracks, asking questions they can't answer. You see, lies have a short lifespan. They may cause temporary damage, but they can't stand up to scrutiny. The very energy they pour into accusing you creates a kind of spotlight, one that eventually shines back on them. What they meant for harm becomes a reflection of their own faults. And as their accusations unravel, your integrity becomes all the more clear to those who are watching. As this truth emerges, something begins to shift. The weight you once carried starts to lift. You no longer feel the need to defend yourself at every turn. Instead, you find strength in knowing that you remain true to who you are. Their attempt to tarnish your image have only served to reveal their own struggles. You see the situation for what it truly is, not a condemnation of your character, but a confirmation of your light. And that realization changes everything. It gives you the confidence to keep moving forward, to continue shining even when others try to dim your light. But even as you find your footing, it's natural to feel a lingering frustration. Why do people resort to these tactics? Why can't they focus on their own growth instead of tearing others down? The answer often lies in fear. When someone sees another person standing in their truth, it can feel like a mirror reflecting back everything they've avoided. Your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your authenticity highlights their masks, and your connection to purpose makes their lack of direction all the more apparent. Rather than confront these feelings, they lash out. It's not fair and it's not right, but it is a sign that you're living in alignment. Their resistance is evidence that your light is doing exactly what it's meant to do: reveal, illuminate, and challenge. In the end, these accusations are not your burden to bear. They are opportunities for growth, for clarity, and for deeper alignment with your higher purpose. Every time they speak against you, they reveal more about themselves and about you. Every time they try to pull you down, they confirm that you're rising. So take a deep breath and stand firm in the truth of who you are. You don't need to prove them wrong. Their actions will do that for you. Comment truth if you've seen this pattern before, and remember that your authenticity is stronger than any accusation. How their lies have backfired on them. At first, their lies seemed to give them power. They thought that by spreading their deceit, they could turn people against you and solidify their own position. Maybe they even convinced themselves that their narrative would hold up indefinitely. But lies are fragile things. They may appear strong in the moment, but they can't withstand the scrutiny of time and truth. Slowly, the cracks began to show. The accusations that once seemed airtight now appear full of holes. Questions started arising, and the once confident storytellers found themselves fumbling for answers. The web they wove to trap you is now unraveling, and they're getting caught in it themselves. The very lies they told to tarnish your reputation are now being used to question their motives. People who initially believed them are starting to ask, why would they say that? What's their real agenda? What once seemed like a well-constructed tale has become a glaring inconsistency. Their actions and their words no longer align, and the audience they sought to manipulate is turning on them. They never planned for this. They thought that tearing you down would elevate them, but instead it has exposed them. They're facing questions they never anticipated, feeling a pressure they thought they'd never experience. Psalm 7 verse 15 captures this perfectly. Whoever digs a hole and scoops it out falls into the pit they have made. Their plan to discredit you has turned into their downfall. They underestimated the power of truth and divine justice. When they set out to harm you, they didn't expect the spotlight to turn on them. But the truth always has a way of surfacing. They never thought that their lies would spark formal investigations, or that the very authorities they hoped would side with them would start connecting the dots back to their own misdeeds. Now they're finding that the same tools they use to try to destroy you, false accusations, misinformation, deceit, are being used to expose them. You may have felt isolated or defeated when their lies first spread, but look at what's happening now. Those who doubted you are beginning to see the truth. The narrative is shifting. The more they try to defend their falsehoods, the more tangled they become in their own contradictions. Their story is crumbling under the weight of evidence and divine timing. They can't keep up with their own fabrications, and now, the light of truth is shining directly on their actions. This is the moment they never prepared for, the moment when their own plan turns against them. It's a strange thing to watch. The people who once accused you with such confidence are now the ones scrambling for explanations. You can see it in their behavior. The evasive answers, the shifting blame, the sudden change in tone. It's almost as if the very words they spoke are coming back to confront them. They are experiencing the fallout of their actions in ways they never thought possible. And while they thought they were putting you on trial, it's their own motives and character that are now being judged. This unraveling is a reminder of the power of integrity. You didn't have to stoop to their level or retaliate. By staying true to yourself, you allowed the truth to work in your favor. The lies they spread are now being used as evidence of their own deception. The more they tried to bury you, the more they buried themselves. And now, as their story collapses, your authenticity becomes all the more evident. What they meant for harm is ultimately proving your strength and character. It's important to understand that this outcome isn't a fluke. It's a natural consequence of dishonesty. Lies can create an illusion for a while, but they can't sustain themselves indefinitely. The same force that allowed their deceit to gain traction is now working against them. The energy they spent trying to tear you down is rebounding onto them, forcing them to confront the very truths they tried to suppress. This is the inevitable result of their actions, a reckoning they didn't see coming. As you move forward, remember that their downfall is not your revenge. It's simply the truth doing its work. Comment justice if you've seen this happen in your life, and know that you don't need to fight their battle for them. The truth has already taken care of that. Signs that their false accusations are falling apart. When they first made those accusations, their voices were steady, their words carefully chosen, and their narrative seemed flawless. But as time passed, something shifted. Maybe you started to notice that their story didn't quite add up anymore. Details that once seemed airtight became questionable. Perhaps they stumbled over their own words or offered explanations that didn't match what they'd said before. Their confidence began to waver, and where there was once a sure tone, now there's hesitation. These subtle cracks in their story are the first signs that the truth is starting to break through. It's not something you forced. It's happening on its own because falsehoods can't hold up under the weight of scrutiny. At first, their lies may have caused you to doubt yourself, to wonder if others would ever see the truth. But over time, their own contradictions began to do the work for you. Maybe someone who initially believed them started asking questions. Why would they say that? Why do their details keep changing? The more they talked, the more their own inconsistencies became apparent. Their once coherent tale began to unravel, and the cracks in their foundation grew wider. What was meant to harm you is now working against them. Their initial confidence has given way to defensiveness, and that shift in their demeanor is one of the clearest signs that their accusations are no longer holding up. Proverbs 12 verse 19 reminds us, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." Their lies may have seemed convincing at first, but they were never built to last. The people who once believed them are now starting to see through the facade. Questions are being raised that the accusers can't answer. Every time they're confronted with new inconsistency, their credibility diminishes further. Their circle of supporters is shrinking. The audience they thought they had won over is beginning to doubt them, and that growing doubt is like a quiet tide turning in your favor, as their accusations begin to collapse under their own weight. You might also notice how they're changing the way they speak about you. Instead of confidently making accusations, they might shift blame onto others or become evasive when pressed for details. They might even go silent, hoping that the controversy will fade away without further scrutiny. But their silence speaks volumes. Their refusal to answer direct questions or their attempts to avoid certain topics only highlight the truth that their story is falling apart. What was once a loud declaration has turned into a quiet retreat, and that retreat is another sign that the lies are crumbling. There's also a shift in how others are responding to them. People who once supported their claims may now be asking tougher questions, seeking evidence that doesn't exist. Those who were quick to believe them may feel uneasy, sensing that something isn't right. Their circle of influence begins to wane, and the support they relied on dwindles. This is a natural outcome of deceit. Once people start to question the initial narrative, the entire structure of lies begins to collapse. Their story isn't holding up under the scrutiny of time and truth, and that change is becoming more obvious by the day. What's more, you'll start to feel a difference in your own experience. Where once you may have felt isolated or under attack, you now notice that the energy has shifted. The weight of their accusations feels lighter because the cracks in their story are undeniable. You're no longer carrying the full burden of proving your innocence because their own words are doing that for you. Their once unified front is starting to break apart, and that breakdown is something you can see, hear, and feel. It's a confirmation that the truth is not only surfacing, but gaining strength, and you don't have to force it. The lies are falling apart on their own. As these signs become more apparent, remember that this is the natural course of truth. Lies may seem powerful at first, but they are never as strong as they appear. The cracks you're noticing are proof that their accusations are not sustainable. In their attempt to harm you, they've set in motion their own undoing. And now, as their falsehoods crumble, your integrity becomes clearer to those who are paying attention. Comment signs if you've seen this unfold in your own life, and know that every crack in her story is a step closer to full clarity. Why they are now under investigation. It all seemed so simple at first. They thought they could spin a story, spread falsehoods, and destroy your reputation. But they didn't anticipate what would happen next. They didn't realize that when they decided to frame you, they set in motion events they couldn't control. They believed they were safe, that their lies would never be questioned, let alone scrutinized by those who seek the truth. What they didn't see coming was that these accusations would catch the attention of people who don't rely on hearsay or rumors. Now, their claims are being examined with a microscope, and the picture emerging is not what they intended. Their decision wasn't just morally wrong. It was an error with tangible consequences. At first, they might have felt untouchable. Spreading lies can feel empowering when there's no immediate accountability. But the moment authorities began looking into their accusations, the game changed. Investigators are trained to sift through narratives, separating truth from falsehood. They ask the questions that they can't easily answer. What might have seemed like a clever ploy is now unraveling, and those who accuse you find themselves under a kind of pressure they never expected. It's no longer about their jealousy or personal grudges. Now, it's about evidence, inconsistencies, and accountability. Each lie they told is being documented and scrutinized, and their initial confidence is fading fast. Isaiah 54 verse 17 tells us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." In many ways, these investigations are a living testament to that truth. Their weapon, those false accusations, has failed. Instead of destroying you, their lies have turned into a spotlight on their own behavior. What they meant to use against you is now working against them. And the best part? You didn't have to lift a finger. This is the power of truth and divine justice at work. They never anticipated that their words would bring them under such scrutiny, but this is the natural consequence of deceit. As the investigations deepen, their once carefree attitude has shifted. They may have initially dismissed the idea that anyone would question them, but now they're the ones facing questions they can't answer. Maybe they're being asked to explain inconsistencies, provide evidence, or clarify points that simply don't add up. The pressure is building, and it's clear that their carefully crafted narrative wasn't as foolproof as they believed. They were so focused on damaging your reputation that they didn't prepare for the possibility that their actions would be examined. Now, instead of being the accusers, they are the ones under the microscope. The fallout doesn't stop with the accusers themselves. Those who supported them, who believed their stories, are now seeing the truth come to light. It's not just about what's happening in formal investigations. It's about the shift in perception. People who once sided with them may be stepping back, realizing that the evidence doesn't support the claims. The accuser's credibility is eroding, and their once loyal allies are starting to question their motives. In this way, the investigation isn't just a legal or official process. It's a broader unraveling of their story in the eyes of everyone who matters. This turn of events highlights an important truth. Lies can only hold up for so long. They may create an illusion for a time, but when exposed to light, that illusion shatters. What they tried to use against you is now a force working in your favor. The very framework of their deception is collapsing, and each new question, each new inconsistency revealed, accelerates their downfall. They once thought they were in control, but now they're scrambling to explain themselves, and that desperation only makes their lies more obvious. As you watch this unfold, remember that you never needed to retaliate. Justice has a way of finding its target. You didn't have to stoop to their level or engage in their tactics. By remaining true to yourself, you allowed the truth to take care of the situation. Their attempt to harm you have become their undoing. And now, as the investigations continue, you can move forward knowing that the very forces they use against you are leading them to face the consequences of their actions. In the end, their decision to frame you turned out to be their biggest mistake. The investigations they face are not random. They are the natural result of lies colliding with the truth. Comment investigation. If you believe in divine justice, and as they face their karma, You can continue on your journey with confidence, knowing that truth and justice are already working on your behalf. How to move forward while they face their karma. Now that the truth is finally coming to light, you're faced with a decision. Do you keep looking back at everything they said and did, or do you shift your focus to what lies ahead? The weight of their lies has been heavy, and it's natural to feel relief as it begins to lift. But this moment is not about celebrating their downfall. It's about reclaiming your power and refocusing your energy. They try to drag you down, but you refuse to lower yourself. Now, you have the chance to move forward, unburdened and unshaken. This is your moment to let go of what they've done and step fully into your purpose, knowing that the truth is working in your favor. It's easy to get caught up in the past, replaying what happened and wishing you had done things differently. Maybe there were times when you wanted to fight back, to confront them, to set the record straight. But now you see that the most powerful response was staying true to yourself. By choosing not to retaliate, you allowed the truth to rise naturally. Their actions are no longer your responsibility. They're facing the consequences of their choices, and that process is unfolding without your intervention. Instead of focusing on their struggles, shift your gaze to the opportunities ahead. This is a new chapter, and it's one that's entirely yours to write. Romans 12 verse 19 reminds us, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge, I will repay,' says the Lord." This verse isn't just about letting go of anger. It's about trusting that justice is already at work. When you release the need to fight, you create space for divine justice to take over. You don't have to carry the burden of setting things right. That work is already being done. This trust allows you to move forward with a clear heart and a focused mind, free from resentment. You can step into the future without feeling tied to their actions or their downfall. Your strength is in your ability to rise above, to let divine justice handle what you can't. Now that you're no longer weighed down by their lies, it's time to realign with your purpose. What drives you? What inspires you? What can you create, build, or share that brings light into the world? Moving forward isn't just about leaving their negativity behind. It's about stepping fully into the life you're meant to live. Use this time to pursue your goals with renewed clarity. By focusing on what you can do, rather than what was done to you, you reclaim control over your story. This is how you truly move forward, by letting your light shine brighter, not in spite of their actions, but because you've chosen a higher path. As you walk this new path, remember that forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. Forgiving them doesn't mean condoning what they did. It means freeing yourself from the emotional chains that can hold you back. By releasing any lingering anger or hurt, you make room for growth, peace, and joy. This isn't a gift you give to them. It's a gift you give to yourself. In letting go of the pain, you clear the way for abundance and happiness to flow into your life. Forgiveness is a powerful tool, and it's one that allows you to truly move forward without the shadows of their actions hanging over you. Moving forward also means surrounding yourself with positivity and support. Seek out people who lift you up, who believe in you, and who encourage you to reach your potential. Building a strong support system ensures that you'll have the encouragement you need when challenges arise. These connections will help you stay grounded and motivated as you continue to grow. By aligning yourself with those who bring positivity into your life, you create a foundation that supports your journey. This is another way to reclaim your power, by choosing relationships and environments that strengthen you. Finally, remember that moving forward is a process, not a single moment. It's about taking small, consistent steps toward a brighter future. Each day, remind yourself of your worth, your goals, and your capacity to overcome. Celebrate the progress you've made and the lessons you've learned along the way. Moving forward means focusing on what you can control, what you can create, and what you can contribute. The more you invest in yourself and your purpose, the further you'll leave their negativity behind. This is how you win, not by reveling in their downfall, but by creating a life so full of meaning and fulfillment that their actions become irrelevant. In this new chapter, your victory is not defined by what happens to them. It's defined by how you choose to rise, thrive, and live in alignment with your truth. You don't need their downfall to validate your strength. Your strength is already evident in the way you've handled yourself and the way you're moving forward now. Comment, "I am chosen." If you're ready to embrace this new chapter and remember that your journey is just beginning. Together, we'll continue to walk in light, truth, and victory. Each day you choose to focus on your own growth. You're choosing to build a future that's free from their influence. This doesn't mean ignoring what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means deciding that the pain will not have the final word. You take the lessons you've learned, carry them forward, and use them to create a stronger, wiser version of yourself. As you continue to walk this path, you'll notice that the weight of their actions becomes lighter. What once consumed your thoughts will gradually fade into the background. Instead of dwelling on the past, you'll find yourself more present, more open to new possibilities, and more at peace with where you are. This shift in focus is not just freeing, it's transformative. It allows you to see your life as a canvas, ready to be filled with the colors of your choosing. Moving forward also means setting boundaries that protect your peace. It's okay to step away from relationships or environments that no longer serve your growth. By creating space for positivity and aligning yourself with people who truly support you, you'll find it easier to stay on track. These boundaries are not acts of spite. They are acts of self-respect. They give you the freedom to flourish without being weighed down by negativity. Remember, the journey forward is not about achieving a single moment of closure. It's about building a life so fulfilling that you don't need closure from them. Each choice you make to prioritize your own well-being, to pursue your passions, and to invest in meaningful connections brings you closer to a future where your actions no longer hold power over you. You'll also find that as you step into this new chapter, your confidence will grow. It's not about arrogance. It's about knowing that you've overcome and that you're capable of more than you once believed. This quiet confidence will radiate outward, drawing opportunities and supportive people into your life. It becomes a natural part of who you are, no longer tied to their actions, but rooted in your own resilience and strength. At the same time, you'll notice how much more energy you have to invest in what truly matters. Without the weight of anger or resentment, you can fully pour yourself into your passions, your relationships, and your purpose. The joy and fulfillment that come from these positive pursuits will overshadow anything from the past. Over time, you'll look back and see how far you've come. Not because of them, but because of you. The process of moving forward also invites you to explore new interests and paths you may have once overlooked. By letting go of the negativity that held you back, you create room to grow in ways you never imagined. This isn't just about healing. It's about thriving. It's about discovering new strengths, nurturing your talents, and building a life that's even better than you'd hoped for. Finally, remember that this journey is yours. You're not just moving on, you're moving up, rising to a higher level of peace, joy, and purpose. Every step you take away from their negativity is a step toward your own freedom. And every step toward freedom is a step into a brighter, more fulfilling future. As you continue to embrace this new chapter, you'll find that life begins to feel lighter. The weight of their actions, which once felt so heavy, no longer dictates your days. In its place, there's a newfound clarity, an ability to see the path ahead without the haze of resentment or anger clouding your vision. You'll notice that even the smallest moments of joy feel brighter, more vivid, because you're no longer carrying the burden of the past. You'll also come to understand that true strength isn't about revenge or proving someone wrong. True strength is found in the quiet resilience of moving forward, in the courage it takes to focus on your own growth rather than their downfall. It's in the determination to build a life so full of meaning, so aligned with your purpose, that their actions lose all power over you. This strength becomes your foundation, allowing you to weather any future storms with grace and dignity. As you move further along this path, you'll begin to see the blessings that come with letting go. Opportunities that were once hidden start to reveal themselves. Relationships that truly support you deepen and flourish. The energy that was once drained by dwelling on their negativity is now poured into your passions, your dreams, and the people who matter most. It's a transformation that not only brings peace, but also a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. Ultimately, you'll find that this journey of moving forward isn't just about leaving the past behind. It's about stepping into a life that feels authentic and meaningful. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be, unhindered by the actions or opinions of others. This is your time to shine, to grow, and to create a future that's truly your own. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment ready below. Share how you plan to move forward with clarity and confidence. Together, we can support each other as we step into the fullness of our purpose, knowing that the best is yet to come.